Hello and welcome to True Crime Sleep Stories. Get comfortable because tonight you're going to hear a mysterious true crime tale that still remains unsolved to this day. But first, I wanted to mention that you can support the show by joining our Patreon. Just go to the link in the show notes to do that. And be sure to follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at True Crime Sleep Stories. All the information is in the show notes. You can just click on the link to go there. Now, let's get into your True Crime Sleep story. The Great Alcatraz Escape of 1962. During its prime, Alcatraz stood as humanity's most impenetrable fortress, an island shrouded in fog and surrounded by the icy, treacherous waters of the San Francisco Bay. Known ominously as The Rock, it had been a site for confinement since the Civil War. Yet, it was in 1934, amid a fierce crackdown on crime, that Alcatraz was transformed into an epitome of maximum security, a place where hope was meant to be extinguished. The prison was home to infamous criminals like Al Capone and George Machine Gun Kelly, names synonymous with danger and daring escapes. Even unique figures like the enigmatic Birdman of Alcatraz called this place home. The 1930s saw Alcatraz evolve into a veritable labyrinth of despair encircled by the frigid, turbulent waters of the Pacific Ocean. The redesign boasted iron bars forged straight from hell, guard towers that loomed like specters, and regulations so stringent that 12 checks were performed daily on each inmate. Escape was deemed impossible. But legends are born from the impossible. Frank Morris arrived at Alcatraz in January 1960, his legacy marked by bank robberies, burglaries, and multiple thwarted escape attempts. By the end of that same year, John Anglin joined him, soon followed by his brother, Clarence, in early 1961. The three, already acquainted from past incarcerations, were united by more than just iron bars. In adjacent cells, they whispered plans shrouded in darkness. Morris, whose sharp intellect was both a gift and a curse, orchestrated the grand design. They found an unlikely ally in Alan West, an inmate whose fate would be irrevocably tied to their audacious enterprise. The morning of June 12, 1962, began like any other, but beneath the surface, the island was a cauldron of secrets and tension. During the early morning bed check, guards discovered a chilling void. 3 inmates, John Anglin, Clarence Anglin, and Frank Morris, had vanished into thin air. In their place lay ghastly, meticulously crafted dummy heads, sculpted from plaster, painted in flesh tones, and adorned with real human hair. These decoys had deceived the night guards. Panic spread like wildfire. The prison was locked down, and an exhaustive search commenced. The FBI was roped in immediately, their agents descending upon the island like hounds on a scent. Coordinating with local branches, they unearthed records of the escapees' past attempts. Conversations with relatives yielded fragments of identification records, while boat operators around the bay were alerted to any debris. Days later, A breakthrough. A packet of letters sealed in rubber linked to the fugitives surfaced. Wood fragments, paddle-like in shape, and pieces of a rubber inner tube followed. A homemade life vest washed ashore on Cronkite Beach. Yet, the bay held its secrets tightly, offering no further clues. The ensuing days saw the FBI, the Coast Guard, and prison authorities piecing together an escape plan that bordered on genius. Their informant was Alan West, who was left behind by fate and a stubborn ventilator grill, and he began to sing like a canary. The plot had been hatched the previous December, sparked by the discovery of old saw blades. Crude tools, including a homemade drill fashioned from a broken vacuum cleaner motor, were employed. They meticulously drilled holes around the air vents, loosening them until entire sections of wall could be removed. The holes were hidden behind suitcases and cardboard. Behind their cells lay an unguarded utility corridor, a shadowy passage to freedom. Here they established a secret workshop atop the cell block, using stolen and donated materials to craft their escape tools. Over 50 raincoats were transformed into life preservers and a 6-by-14-foot rubber raft, seams stitched and vulcanized by the prison's steam pipes. Wooden paddles were carved, and a musical instrument was repurposed to inflate the raft. Scaling the 30-foot ceiling was their final hurdle. Utilizing a network of pipes, they reached the ventilator at the top, prying it open and securing it with a fake bolt made from a bar of soap. The night of June 11th was their moment of truth. The air was thick with anticipation as they prepared to breach their prison. West, thwarted by his ventilator grill, was left behind. The remaining trio entered the corridor, gathered their equipment, and ascended through the ventilator to the prison roof. From there, they descended the bakery smokestack, scaled the fence, and slipped into the night, heading towards the northeast shore. Their raft awaited, a fragile vessel against the might of the bay. And then, the trail went cold. Did they conquer the bay, reaching Angel Island and crossing Raccoon Strait to Marin County? Or were they swallowed by nature's fury? Speculation abounded. The FBI's investigation, however, concluded otherwise. And here's why. Though young swimmers had managed the over-mile-long swim from Alcatraz to Angel Island, the fierce currents and freezing waters made survival highly unlikely. An informant claimed the fugitives intended to steal clothes and a car, but no such thefts were reported. If they had aid, the FBI found no trace. Their families lacked the means for substantial support. Over all of these years, no credible evidence has ever surfaced to suggest that the men were alive either domestically or abroad. On December 31st, 1979, the FBI closed the case, passing it to the U.S. Marshals Service. To this day, the fate of John Anglin, Clarence Anglin, and Frank Morris remains enshrouded in mystery, a testament to the indomitable human spirit and the allure of the impossible. What do you think happened to the 1962 escapees of Alcatraz Island? Do you think they perished in the frigid waters of the Pacific Ocean? Or do you think they made it to the other side and started a new life? Thank you for listening to this episode of True Crime Sleep Stories. Hopefully you are sound asleep right now, but if not, please like and subscribe to this podcast and leave us a 5-star rating and review. It really helps the show. You can follow us on all the social media at True Crime Sleep Stories, and you can find the links in the show notes. Until next time, good night, sleep tight, and don't let the monsters bite.